Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and it has been a few days since I have done a video. In fact, the last video that I uploaded was one that I had filmed at the beginning of June. So it's been a little while longer even since I've filmed a video. But I am back today to do a little discussion video, and this is what I've been thinking about for a little while in light of the fact that it's been 3 months now since COVID-19 shut everything down, and things are starting to kind of come back and open, but still there's a lot of things that are different. My husband just went back to work yesterday. He works at Disney, and in his job, he's a tech for shows, and in the show where he works, of course, things aren't going to actually open until next month, but he was telling me about all the different things and the limitations that we have to work with. And you don't even think about some of the things that, that have to change. So it's really interesting and sad, but in light of the bookish world, what I have been thinking about most is book club. Now, in the big scheme of life, book club is not an essential activity. I know this, but it does meet a lot of personal goals in that it's a social outlet for sure. It can be an intellectual outlet. It's just really good for your psyche, maybe. I don't know if that's the right word, but it can have a lot of benefits emotionally and just, and socially, of course, and I don't know. So I've just been thinking about what is the future of book club in a COVID-19 world. Now, if you've been following me for a little while, you know that my 2 library book clubs have continued to meet. We have actually not missed a single meeting, but we have done some, we've made some modifications. That's what I'm trying to say. So it just so happens that our local library has a park directly across the street. And in that park is an open air pavilion. There are no built-in benches or anything. There is not even any trash cans right there at the pavilion. There are some in the park. So there's nothing there that has to be cleaned or, there's no impact for a group to meet there as long as they clean up after themselves, don't leave trash. There's no benches to be cleaned. There's no chairs, seats, anything like that. So we have each brought our own chairs, just a camping chair, and we sit spaced apart in a circle in this very open air gazebo area. And it's been great. We've had excellent weather every day. There was one day we had to move to the next day that we, didn't have our regular meeting. And for the summer, since we're in Florida, it rains probably 5 out of the 7 days a week. It rains in the afternoon. And if it's not raining, it's super hot. So for the summer, we decided to meet at 10 a.m. instead of 2 p.m. on the same day that we usually meet. And our library has opened back up at 50% capacity, but the rooms where we would meet are closed. And according to the city administration, no one is allowed to meet yet. And they're looking at maybe September as an actual date when meetings can start happening. So we have just continued to meet outside. We've had a very enjoyable experience. Now, not everyone has been attending. I would say about 2/3 of our members have been regular attendees, and the other third are in health groups that are compromising as far as their health. They have medical needs that deem that they not get out at all, especially for not, something that's not essential. So there have been a few that have not gotten out, and some, maybe 1 or 2 people because they just chose not to, and that's completely understandable. But when we first started doing this, I had said, well, when the library first closed, I thought, well, maybe we could just meet over text messages. We could just meet in, we could just text message back and forth. Well, a couple of people, admittedly, they were older than me. I know I'm older than a lot of you, but they were like, I don't really want to do that. I don't know how, I don't know how to do that. I'm not comfortable with that, whatever, but we'll meet in person. I'm like, well, okay, I guess so. Now, we do have a library staff member who generally leads one of our book clubs, and then I lead the other one. I lead the mystery book club. Our library staff member was not able to participate for various reasons, but some of the reasons are because the library was not sponsoring this activity. We were just simply the people who had been meeting at the library book club, and we continued to meet and read the same books that we would have read if we were at the library, but we were meeting unofficially. So that being said, the library, now that it's back open, they're ordering our books for us and everything like that, but we were scrounging around and we were just sort of getting by by the skin of our teeth, utilizing the libraries that were open and doing curbside service and using books by mail and things like that, and using personal copies, usually which would belong to me, that I borrowed or lended around so that people could get the books that they wanted. So we made do, and we are going to continue to meet outside as long as necessary. Now, going forward, that's going to work for us. But I'm just wondering about the rest of you. How are you dealing with this situation? Do you belong to any book clubs? And if so, have you just stopped meeting altogether? Have you started meeting electronically? I think Emily Sears may have said to me, if it wasn't you, I'm sorry, it was somebody that said their library or their book club has been meeting on Zoom. And I have not, believe it or not, I have not used Zoom yet. I think I could figure it out. I don't think it's that hard, but I have not needed to, and I just haven't. And so I don't know. I'm just wondering if that is something that you have utilized. Now, those of us in the online bookish community know that the possibilities are endless. In fact, BookTube itself is practically like a big online book club, with branches and cliques and groups and, around that, where you could find your place in BookTube. And Goodreads, of course, that's really another online book club. We have Goodreads groups. And so these type of things have been going on forever. Well, not forever, you know what I mean. They've been going on a long time. Things like Voxer, which also I have never used, but I know that that is a good tool that people use for chatting about books. So going forward, are these the type of book clubs that we're going to see as being more predominant than your actual in real life in-person book club? And if that's true, is that something that we are going to enjoy as much, or are we going to really miss being able to meet together? I'm just wondering, some of you may feel critical of our group and say, well, you shouldn't have been meeting together that whole time. You shouldn't have done that. You should have stayed home. If that's your opinion, then you could certainly express it, because I had a little bit of that feeling myself, and I was not going to insist that everyone come, but like I said, I was going to just do it by text message. And then at least 3 or 4 people said, oh, I would come. We could meet in the gazebo, we'll bring a chair and let's just do that. And so I didn't see why not. We're going to be outdoors, sitting far apart. We didn't even wear masks because we were spaced far enough apart. And, maybe we should have worn masks. I don't know. We do have an offer from a group in our community, of which one of our members belongs to, that have a facility that it's a theater group, and they said, because the theater is shut down right now, and we have been given permission that we could meet in their facility as long as we wear masks, like if it's raining or bad weather or hot or whatever. So that's our contingency plan. But we've had such good experiences so far meeting outside, and we all feel comfortable with that, at least the ones who've been coming, that we're going to continue with that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? I just thought it was an interesting discussion to think about. I mean, book club is really no different than some of the other things that we're doing. The only difference is that people would consider book club to be non-essential, whereas grocery shopping is essential. Churches have started meeting back together again, and that was another thing that I never really stopped doing. I went to church every week during all of this because I help with the music. So very few people were there for several weeks, but they were mainly the people who it took to run the service so that we could broadcast on YouTube. And so that's why I continued to go every week. The rest of my family did not. I did not drag the kids out and expose them unnecessarily. They stayed home and watched it on YouTube. So did my husband. And that's how we handled things. But, it's just, I guess it all goes according to your comfort level. Well, what are your thoughts about book club? Going forward, are we going to have to just say, okay, most of this kind of stuff is just going to have to be online now? Or do you think it will eventually just kind of simmer down and things can go back to how they used to be? Or is it just going to be a whole new normal? I don't know, but it's a thought, it's something to think about, and how it relates to the bookish community. It was just something that's been on my mind, mainly because one of the next videos that I want to do is talking about the books that I'm reading for book club. This is a video I wanted to do in January because we usually set all the books that we're going to read for the whole year. So I've been knowing what my list was going to be all year, and I've been reading from that. Some of the books I've already read, thankfully, the ones later in the year, so I can get back to the business of all the stuff that I really want to read. But I just thought it would be a fun video to show you all of the books that I am reading for book club this year and see what you've read and what you are planning to read, and just chat about those books. And also just chat about what types of books you read for book club. The whole book club book is almost a genre in and of itself. A book club book, we all kind of think of, okay, something that Oprah would pick, or now something that Reese Witherspoon would pick, that kind of thing. And there's certain types that fit into that mold. Now, our book clubs, well, like I said, one is a mystery book club, so that one is mysteries, but within the whole realm of mysteries, we try to keep it a variety of books there. But just in our regular literary book club, we read a pretty good variety of books. Some of them are your standard book club books, and some are not. And so I will be excited to show you those. If you've been following me for a while, you already know some of the books that I've been reading, but I think you might be surprised at some of the books that we are reading for book club, and that will be coming up. So anyway, leave me your thoughts below on book club itself. How has your book club been handling the COVID-19 pandemic? Have you quit meeting altogether? Have you met online? Have you done anything online? Have you just kind of said, let's just wait and see what happens in the future? What's going on with your book club? Or have you continued to meet? Have you got an outdoor place like I do? And have you continued to meet? And if you have not thought of that as an option, I encourage you to think outside the box. Is there an open air location somewhere in your community where you could meet and have everyone feel safe? One of the beautiful things about our situation is there's no seats there. So everyone brings their own seat. We don't have the temptation of sitting where someone else may have sat even. It's open air, so it gets cleaned by the rain and things like that. So it's really an ideal situation. And if you have one of those ideal situations, I would encourage you to utilize it if you feel so inclined. If you don't feel so inclined, then that is absolutely your prerogative. So anyway, leave some comments down below. I would love to chat with you about this issue. Even if you feel like I am completely wrong and you want to yell at me in the comments, I think I can handle it. Don't yell too loud, but you know. Anyway, I would love to chat with you, and I hope you are having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.